Hello, everyone. So my name's Madison, and yeah, the way this is going to work today is there's three members of the team with us. So I work as part of the onboarding team. We have Rose, who's part of the classroom team, so the team that would be teaching you on the course, and then we have Amy, who's part of she manages the careers team. So in terms of helping you find work after the course. So what we'll do is I'm just going to explain about a little bit about what I do. Rose will then explain just a little bit about what they do on the course and how they help students throughout. And then Amy will go into sort of the career support and all the aspects of that. We're only going to chat, a little bit each, only a few minutes each. And then just to give you a good chance to ask any questions that you've got, we'll open the floor to questions after that. And then we'll just go through them one by one. So hopefully you've brought a few questions along with you. If you've not, don't worry. As we're speaking, you might think of some to bring up and we'll go from there. Okay, so what I do on the course and what I do in my job is I work with people on the onboarding team. So that means getting them from applying on the course to their first day on the course, because it's not as simple as applying one day and then you're on the course the next. We have an application process that involves us sending some materials to you after you apply. And these materials are stuff that we've made ourselves. And then there's also some things such as Free Code Camp, which is an online resource. You would then work through those materials. It can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks to work through them. And that does really depend on your commitment. So some people have full-time jobs, they might have families. You can expect someone like that, it's maybe going to take them closer to 4 weeks to get through the application process up to that point of starting an entry challenge and completing it. Some people have less commitment. Some people might be out of work at the minute. They might just have less on. It might take them 2 weeks. So I always say when I'm talking about sort of expectations of the application process, don't just do take it with a grain of salt, just because it can change person to person. And some people, especially at the start of the process, might just take to the materials a little bit easier. That doesn't necessarily mean you might be better on the course. You might struggle a bit more. Some people just pick up new information a bit quicker than others, and that's completely fine. We do understand at the application process that not everyone's going to work for at the same time. We've got a lot of support on offer. So there's 3 people on my team. There's me, Elenia, and Bethan. So you do have a lot of points of contact if you need help. We also have a lot of support available to you. So if at any point you are struggling, just reach out to us. We'll usually be in touch after a few days from applying with a phone call or an email, seeing how it's been going for you. We'll add you to something. From there, you can contact the onboarding team really directly. And we'll also post other stuff on Slack, like drop-in sessions. And what they are is at the second part of the application process. So with the application process, there's 2 parts. You have Free Code Camp, which is the first part of the application process. You then have Passport at Northcoders, which is our own platform. And on there, you work through sort of a series of challenges. Once you're on that second part of the application process on our platform, we have tutor-led drop-in sessions. Really, really great chance to speak to tutors who are going to be teaching you on the course. In a really relaxed environment. There's usually sort of 6, 7, maybe 8 people. Sometimes they're busy though, in those drop-in sessions, and they're just a really good chance to speak to a tutor about anything that you've not been sort of coping with, anything that you've been struggling with about code. The reason being, me, Bethan, and Elenia, the onboarding team, we're not technical in that sense. We try, but we're not super technical. So it's a really good chance to speak to those technical people about your code, especially for a lot of people when they're in the application process. They've not spoken to anyone about their code before. It can be sort of quite a solo process for most of it. So it's a really good chance to sort of get that out and speak to someone. So you do the application process. You then do an entry challenge at the end of the process. And the entry challenge isn't anything to worry about. As long as you've done the materials and you've taken your time to understand them, there's no reason you shouldn't be successful at it. It's not to trick anyone out. It's really just to make sure that this course is definitely right for you. So it really is for your benefit. I would say people always ask me if it's difficult, and it is difficult in the sense that if you've not done the materials, you're not going to be able to do the entry challenge. But as long as you've done the materials, as long as you've spent those 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks on them, there's no reason you shouldn't be successful. After the entry challenge, then we can give you a start date from there. So the next start dates are May 16th and then June 20th. That one's my birthday, so I always remember that one. I'll pass you to Rose, who works on the classroom team, and I'll just explain a little bit about what they do and how they help students. Thank you.
Thanks. Hello. Yeah, my name's Rose, and I am one of the technical people. So I work on the classroom team. I'm a mentor and a seminar lead, which involves generally mentoring students, responding to any help desk requests. We have sort of a live help desk where people can come to us for support. I also deliver content on like a more seminar sort of classroom based level, and I've been known to give the odd lecture as well. Where you may come across me sometime soon is I also am part of the team who conduct those entry challenges. So it might be that when you first come to Northcoders for that entry challenge, it's one of us giving you that feedback, maybe giving you a bit of extra support if you need it. And then obviously passing you back to the rest of the team who will be able to tell you sort of whether you've made it in or not. Same with drop-ins. You may well see some members of the classroom team in there as well. I think that's it from me. Is there anything else you want me to touch on?
No, perfect. And then next is Amy, and then they'll just go over sort of the career aspects of the course and how we help you find work at the end of the course. Thank you, Rose.
Thanks, Rose. Hi, everybody. Okay, so I'm Amy. I look after the commercial operations at Northcoders. So once you have completed your entry challenge and you've started on the Northcoders course, you are taught by excellent tutors who are experts in the field, such as Rose, for the duration of the boot camp. Big thumbs up from Rose there, for the duration of the boot camp. And then when you're coming to the end of your 13-week course, that's when some career sessions will start. So the team one of my teams is a careers team. There are 3 people on that team. And what they will do when you come into the end of the bootcamp training in itself, they will start to prepare you for you going out into the working world, basically. So they will help you build your CV. They will help you write cover letters. They will conduct mock interviews with you. They will also do some coaching and training and mentoring on confidence and how to not public speak, but I suppose some interviews might be via Zoom and not in person, and how to feel comfortable and confident whilst you're going through those interviews. We also have people from outside of Northcoders that come in to talk to you, and that might be from businesses with regards to what they're looking for when they're hiring junior developers, what kind of skills and attributes they're looking for, or personality traits. And we also bring in personal development coaches as well, again, to help you with that confidence and how to articulate yourself well, and give you those all important skills needed. Once you've done all that and you've got to your project phase and then you've graduated from Northcoders, as well as getting the hoodie, that coveted hoodie that everybody loves to get, we will then give you access to our internal jobs board, which is just for Northcoders graduates. And on that board will be a variety of junior software developer roles on there. Starting salaries normally start at about £25,000. That's our average. 95% of the students that we have taught so far, and it's over 1,100 people so far, have gone into roles. That's 95% of those have gone into junior software developer roles. And we will match make you with the businesses that you're interested in applying for. At the moment, we've got about 56 businesses that have roles on the jobs board, and we have some companies that never leave the jobs board because they take so many graduates from us at a time. So 56 companies does not just equal 56 jobs. It could be hundreds of jobs at any one time that are available for you. And then you show us your interest, and then we match make you with those companies, and then you're successful, and then you go on into your first steps into being a junior software developer within that industry. We also have a team of 5 people who speak to those businesses on your behalf. So we have careers, and we have the business side, which is partnerships team, and they go out there and they find those new opportunities for you. So throughout your whole process with Northcoders, whether it be in onboarding, or whether it be from the teaching element, or whether it be from the careers element, you are supported as an individual to help you take those first steps into tech. And that's about it. That's us.
Smashed it. All right, yeah, so that's just a bit about sort of each aspect of sort of who you'll be dealing with and how it all works from start to finish. But if you do have any questions, there's a little sidebar, and then could you repeat those? Yeah, okay. I'll just read out the questions, and then I'll sort of pass them over to who I think it's most relevant to. Of this one's for me. So start dates are 16th of May and then the 20th of June. They're every 5 weeks though, so I've not done the math for the one, but there'll be one in July, there'll be one in August, and one in September. I think there's one every month this year, even though they're every 5 weeks. It does fall that there's every one once every month this year, every 5 weeks or once a month at the minute, basically. Yeah. Any other questions? I'll just give it a minute. Usually people come up with them as I wait. So
Hi, Scott's here. Hi, Scott. I'm glad to hear that you're wearing your hoodie today. Hope you're doing well.
That's just the course cost. So the course costs $8,500. There's finance options available. There's lots of payment options available to you actually. So there's the deferred payments option, an advanced payment option where you get a discount if you complete the process earlier. There's an income sharing agreement option where you don't make repayments until after you're earning. And if you are in the Northwest, the Northeast, Yorkshire and the Humber, or the Midlands at the moment, there is what's called a government-funded skills bootcamp. It's the exact same bootcamp, but basically what that is, it's a fully funded place in the course. It's not available to everyone. You do have to be in one of those areas. And for that, not everyone is awarded one. You do have to sort of show commitment to the application process from start to finish. There's a good amount on offer. So if you do show that dedication when you apply and you do qualify for it, there's no reason we shouldn't be able to award you one. But especially with the fully funded option, we're just looking definitely to us from the moment they apply. But that's a really great opportunity as well there, yeah. How viable is it to do our working? So it's a full-time course. It's from 8:30 till 5, Monday to Friday. So in that sense, it can be quite difficult for people that are in full-time work. They do usually have to either quit their jobs or take a sabbatical, which is a bit of a leap of faith. Now, in terms of people working on the evenings or weekends, some people have done that and, they've been absolutely fine with the course. They've managed it well. Other people have had, part-time jobs in the evenings after finishing the course in the daytime, and they've kind of struggled because the course at times can be quite intense. It's really, really rewarding, but it can be intense. So if you're working with us from 8:30 till 5 and then doing a part-time job in the evening, it catches up with some people, but yeah, as I say, other people are absolutely fine with it. So there's quite a few questions now, so I'm just kind of trying to catch up with them. How many students do we take on each cohort? So it sort of ranges from about 60 to 70. It does depend on the cohort there, but it's usually depends what time of year, but it's usually about 60 or 70. In terms of the student-teacher ratio, then, we always keep that ratio at 10 to 1. So for every 10 students, there's one tutor. You've got a lot of support there. You're never really waiting long. As Rose was talking about the help desk. If you need that help desk, the tutors are really on hand to help out for you. You've got a lot of contact time with them. So there's plenty of tutors on each cohort basically to help you out. And they'll you have tutors that will work along with you and go through the bootcamp with you. And then you've got tutors that will just teach you on each block of the course. So you'll be working with quite a few of them as you go through it. How long is the course? So the course is 13 weeks. You have an introduction week where you can decide, if this course is right for you or not. And then after introduction week, if you decide it's not right for you, you can drop out at that point. Or the course, is 13 weeks. How long is the government-funded skills bootcamp running for? It's a difficult one because we get a set amount of funding. We don't know we know how much funding we have, but we don't know how long that will last. Say if quite a few people are awarded it on an early bootcamp, it will eventually run out. I don't know the exact date it will run out. We don't know the exact date it will run out. It's not unlimited funding, though. It is a set amount of funding. So it's definitely available for the May one, for the June one, and possibly the one after that. But but it's not here forever, and it will eventually run out at some point this year. So if you are thinking of doing it earlier rather than later, I would definitely say with that, just because it is such a good opportunity, and it is limited funding. It's not going to be there indefinitely. Will the course past June still be free in accordance to the government scheme? Just checking, guys. We'll have less commitment past June, so much time to kind of the same as the other question. I don't know. I would say it should be there for the July one. But say if we have a lot of funding allocated for May and June cohorts with a lot of students that awarded it, then it could always run out. I'd say we'll be fine for July, but I can't say 100% because it is a set amount of funding there. So it really depends.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to take some, Maddie?
I usually dish them out, but they seem to have become...
That's all right. So it's completely up to you. I'm just acutely aware that you've just answered about 10 in a row.
That's fine. That's fine.
Keep going.
I'll dish them out if I think they're for someone else. So
okay.
I applied with the renting for the government scheme. What do we have to do to apply for that? So that's fine. So carry on with the application process as normal if you've applied for the government scheme. What will happen is on the day of your entry challenge, if you're successful, we will ask you how you intend to join us on the course. So if you're successful at your entry challenge, we'll have a call with you. We'll say, well done, and how is it you were looking to join us on the course? And you just need to let us know on the day of your entry challenge. It was through the government funded scheme that's what you're hoping for. Then what will happen is we'll look at sort of your whole application process. We'll look, as long as you kept within the guidelines of sort of 2 to 4 weeks from applying to doing an entry challenge. We'll look at, as long as you were engaged with us and committed, then we'll decide then. If somebody, applied a few months ago and has really taken their time with the materials and hasn't dedicated themselves, it's less likely that we are going to be awarding them a fully funded place. So when we look at people's application process, we'll be looking for sort of those things like timings, engagement, and stuff like that, really. I'd spoken previously with someone regarding working from the office and from home. How would this work? Would we need to notify the team when we are working from home? No. So the way that works is you can just decide on the day. If you wake up on a Monday and you decide I would rather work from home today than come into the office, that's completely fine. It's extremely flexible. You can choose pretty much each day whether you want to be working from home or whether you want to come into the office, and you can decide that on the date. It's really, really flexible there. We will take a preference from you when you complete an entry challenge. So when we send out your offer of joining us on the course, we'll take a preference. And as long as you've let us know in that preference, I want to spend some time in the office, sometimes at home, that's completely fine. If you say you want to spend all of your time remotely, then we'll probably just put you down for remotely and we won't expect you in the office. But if you say, you want to do, even if you want to come in once every other week or something, just let us know when you are accepted onto the course, and we'll just make that note that we'll expect you in the office sometimes. Hello, I've completed a digital marketing bootcamp from another provider. Would I still be eligible for Northcoders bootcamp provided we meet all over criteria? Amy, do you know this one? If they've done this,
you still qualify. You do, yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, you still qualify, so you're good to go. Can the government skills bootcamp be completed remotely? Yes, so although you need to be in Northwest, the Northeast, Yorkshire, the Humber and the Midlands to qualify for the scheme, you can still do the course remotely. That's completely fine. As long as you're in the regions, it doesn't matter how you do the course, that's fine. I've taken steps to make a career change into tech. Is this also supported, or do you prefer people already in the tech background? Good. I'll pass that on to Amy.
So read the question again. Sorry, I've missed that one.
Steps to make a career change into tech. Is this also supported, or do you prefer people already in the tech background with tech?
Oh no, absolutely. You can be from many backgrounds. We've had people from all walks of life come to us. We've had people from professional careers. Had people with university degrees. We've had people that didn't even finish school. We've had people that we had a busker come through the course once. I know in lockdown we had loads of musicians that came and did the course and changed their careers into tech because obviously COVID meant all their venues and such kind of like closed. We've had people from all walks of life and all ages. So it really doesn't matter about your background. All you need to have is a passion for tech and a desire to want to change careers into tech. And I think age-wise, we've taught everybody from 19 years old. I think the most mature, so I'm not going to say the oldest, but the most mature person we ever taught was 56. So, yeah, it doesn't matter what your background is at all.
Where can I find information about the government-funded one? How would one show commitment? This was the reason I found out about Northcoders. Unfortunately, I won't be able to afford the course. So you can find information on the website if you hover over. Well, we'll send an email out with the link on after this is over. But if you like to just do it yourself, there you go. You've got the link there. If you want to type that down, or if you just go onto the website, hover over our courses, which is that in the middle bit there. You'll get a drop-down menu, and then I think it's the third one along is Skills Bootcamp. Click on that, and then you've got all the information about what you need to qualify and what you need to do. In terms of showing commitment, just sticking within the guidelines and keeping us up to date with your progress, really. Sometimes people apply and then they don't look at the materials we send out to them for 2 weeks, and then they don't do an entry challenge for another 4 weeks, and they really drag their feet along the process. So what I mean by commitment is when you apply for the course, we send these materials to you. The quicker you do them, the better, but don't rush through them. You've got plenty of time. If you do an hour a day for a month, that's more than fine. That's more than the amount we probably recommend anyway. So it's not, breaking your back or anything. It's really just showing dedication and just committing a bit of time each day or a bit of time each week to those materials, and just demonstrate to us that you are working through them. Okay, where are we up to? I live in the West Midlands, and I've applied for the funded course. However, is there an option for face-to-face classes if I get in? Fingers crossed. So the closest one would be Birmingham. Now, we've not fully set up shop there. We are doing next month, I believe. In terms of face-to-face tutoring, it will sort of be a hub at the minute. It won't be a full classroom setting. So for people in the Midlands, it would be more remote learning. But you would have the option of having that office there if you work better in the office space. And then you would also have some other people on your cohort if you wanted to work alongside them too. How difficult would you rate the entry challenge from 1 to 10? 1 being very easy. So if you looked at the materials, I would say about a 3 or 4. It's not hard, and it's not there to trick you out. As long as you've done the materials, it's only about a 3 or 4. It's not that difficult. If you've not done the work we've set out for you, and you've not worked through it, and you just turn up to the end challenge at a 10, you're just not going to be able to do it. But as long as you've done that work that we've set out for you, I don't want to say super easy 1, because some people can still trip up, and especially for a lot of people in sort of a timed environment, because most people come to us as career changes. They haven't been in sort of that exam environment where they're being timed for like 5 or 10 years, maybe more. So it can throw a bit of people off, and it can be difficult in that sense. But the questions themselves, as long as you're prepared for it, it is straightforward. It really is. We're not there to trick you out. I know I keep saying it, but we're really not. We do just want to see that you've understood the materials, and we just want you to demonstrate what you can do for us, basically.
Sorry,
go on, Rose.
Just to add, we've recently revamped our entry challenge, so it's now longer than it used to be. There's a few more challenges than there used to be, and that's kind of intentionally almost unachievable. So we're not looking for 110% or even 100%. We're looking for how much can you do and how well can you explain it. It's better that you do half as much, but you know exactly what's going on, than you bash through them all and you can't really explain what's going on. So as difficult as you make it, really.
Yeah, as difficult as you make it, yeah. That's a perfect way of putting it, basically. Have people stayed longer than 13 weeks when you're eating? It's not super common. Sometimes people have something, you have an outside life as well. It's not just going to be Northcoders for 13 weeks. Sometimes stuff can get in the way for whatever reason, and people may have to resit a block. some people might start again. It's not really common at all. But yeah, sometimes people have just life circumstances that have meant they've had to miss a portion of the course, or they've not been able to dedicate themselves to it. Life will get in the way sometimes. I wouldn't say it's common at all, but it is going to happen for somebody where it would be better for them to resit that block of the course for whatever reason. I wouldn't say it happens often, but if there is like an extenuating circumstance, then it's there basically. Can you provide examples of the companies that Northcoders provide graduates for? Do you want to take that one, Amy?
Sure, no problem. So I've just actually logged into the jobs board because I preempted that, sorry. So at the moment, for example, and we have over 300, I've lost count now, hiring partners that we deal with, and they span over 25 different industries as well. So there's every industry that you can potentially imagine that we work with. At the moment, for example, and this is not it's exclusive because this tweaks and changes all the time, obviously. We're working with Barclays, for example. We are working with the Northwest Ambulance Service for roles within their organisation. We're working with Deloitte and Morgan Stanley. We're working with DAI. We've just hired for Rolls-Royce. Then we have kind of what I would call the smaller, so they're the kind of like enterprise, and you've got the smaller businesses. So if it was something that you wanted to get involved with that was kind of like a startup or a cooler tech company, we've got like the Insights family. We work with Silverchip in Manchester. We work with loads of startups. So there's really there's no set kind of like type of company that we work with or work for. As I said, we've got over 300 companies over 25 different industries. So if it's fintech you want to be in, you can be in fintech. If it's a startup that you want to be involved with, you can be with a startup. There's no kind of like hard and fast rules, but we have plenty of jobs on the board and available. There is a shortage of developers in the UK at the moment, and finding a job is not going to be difficult for you once you have done this training course.
Thank you. I'll pass this one to Rose. How good at maths do you realistically need to be a good developer?
No good at maths. I can barely count. There's no, like, it's every so often somebody brings that up. I'm like, oh yeah, I suppose you would think that. You need to be prepared to, and ideally enjoy problem solving and looking at things and unpicking. But in terms of anything like calculations, I have absolutely no experience in that. I can do, basic multiplication, but otherwise it just doesn't get in the way. Having said that, I see how people with a natural affinity for maths would enjoy coding, because it's the same sort of, how can we get from this place to this place using logic, but coming at it with a totally blank slate is absolutely fine. Will not hurt you at all.
Perfect. Thank you. Can you tell us more about the Entry Challenge? What does it involve? So Rose could probably do this as well if there's anything I miss out. But basically, we have our own platform, and you'll do 20 practice challenges. Then, staying on the platform, when you book an Entry Challenge with us, then you'll do the Entry Challenge on that same platform. So it should be really familiar to you at this point, sort of the layout and what's expected of you. Then you've got an hour and you've got 13 challenges. Now, Rose was saying, we've sort of put a lot of challenges on there, and I don't think since we launched the new process, anyone's actually finished all of the challenges. We've put more on there than you are realistically going to finish, and that's so you've got a chance to demonstrate what you can do with the challenges. So there's 13 challenges there, and you can do 8 of them. That's a really, really good sign. We're not expecting you to complete them all. I don't think anyone has, and most people, but almost everyone probably won't finish them. It's really just a chance for you to show off what you can do. At that point of the Entry Challenge, just remember you would have been coding, for the past 3-4 weeks. So you should be, you're not going to be, great, but you'll know the basics, and you will be able to show what you've learned in that month at that Entry Challenge. Anything you want to add, Rose?
Just that afterwards, you sort of get 2 separate conversations. You get a conversation with whichever tutor has been sort of assigned to give you feedback. We'll talk through your code with you, talk through like maybe things that you've done well, but different ways we could do that. We'll talk through anything you didn't understand, fill in any gaps. And then, of course, following that, there's the conversation of, have you actually made it onto the course or not? But we'll never just leave it hanging. You'll always be given like a soft rundown, put everything into context, and like, here's what went well, here's what could be better, here's what you could work on. And also during the process, if you do get totally stuck or run into trouble, there's a little button that you can click, and one of the tutors will come in. We're not going to tell you the answers, but we'll certainly help lead you towards the right path and sort of get you back on track. So you're never just totally floating. You're always having your hand held a little bit.
Smashing. This is for you, I would say as well. Will I have a dedicated mentor for the bootcamp to help me with any issues I may have throughout the course?
You will indeed. At the start of each cohort, we are, well, not split, but sort of separated into individual seminar groups. So there'll be maybe 3, maybe 4, depending on how big the cohort is, seminar groups of about 20-ish people. Each seminar group has several tutors dedicated to it. So your help desk will always be received by the same sort of subsection of tutors. And then even more granular than that, you will be assigned a specific mentor, each of whom is in charge of probably sort of 6 to 8 individuals. They will, of course, check in with you and make sure that you're understanding the content, but also, you know, sometimes life gets in the way. Like, just make sure that you're happy and have everything that you need, really. But yeah, it's a lovely team. Whoever you get, they're going to be fab. I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I'm just going to close my Slack, which is about this. So I'm completing the basic skills. I'm guessing on Free Code Camp. I've got to around 70% and struggling. That's fine, by the way. That's about the point everyone starts struggling with Free Code Camp, because it gets a bit more in depth. So don't worry about that. And struggling a little with some of the code at this point. Is it something I can get help with, or is it just self-learning at the moment? So it is self-learning on Free Code Camp. In terms of the support sessions available to you, they really pick up after finishing Free Code Camp. But what we can do is, if you email apply@northcoders.com, what we can do, and what you'll do, is just request a Slack invite. So SLACK. What Slack is? It's a messaging service. So we have all the tutors on there, the onboarding team, and all the students who are working towards their entry challenge. So what you can do is join us on Slack, and we have channels, which is like group chats about people on Free Code Camp, people preparing for their entry challenge. If there's anything on Free Code Camp that you are struggling with, drop a message into the channel that's relevant to that. So like a group chat that's to that. And basically, people who are working through the process alongside you, they'll drop you a message and they'll be like, oh, I'm on this point as well. This is how I did it. This is how I went about it. You know, some people might have been struggling with that a week ago because they applied a bit sooner than you. And then they might say to you, yeah, this is how I went about it, but don't worry, I found it just as difficult. It's really, really useful tool, sort of at speaking to the tutors, speaking to Northcoders, but also speaking to, students who are going through the same thing as you. So definitely join us on there if you just request it on apply@northcoders.com. And then, yeah, it's really, really useful. So even if it is self-studying on Free Code Camp, you can still get support available to you. So yeah, definitely join us on there. For the Code Wars challenges, are we able to search the internet for guidance, or do we need to communicate with someone from NC to work through the challenges? Yeah, please use Google. Like I was just saying, you are welcome to use Slack, but please use Google as well. Knowing what to Google and how to go about Googling it without actually Googling the answer is actually all part of it. Rose probably uses Google a lot, I'm guessing. Yeah. It's fine. For the entry challenge, you can use Google. For when you're in a job after the course, the people you're working with, you're going to be using Google a lot. You're never going to remember everything. There's so much to remember that it's just never going to happen where you'll know every single thing, and that's completely fine. So yes, actually, you should be using Google. That's fine. So there's websites like Stack Overflow, MDN that are really useful to you. I applied early but won't be able to focus on the pre-course till start of May. Will this affect my chances of getting the government-funded scheme? What I would say is, yeah, just email us, same as with them, so apply@northcoders.com. if you emailed them and just update us with your situation, this is what I mean in terms of communication. As long as you communicate to us what sort of the situation is, that should be fine. As long as you explain, I've applied, but I've not started the materials, because we do, in honesty, take them as sort of part and parcel. If people apply, that's when we start the process of them starting the materials, and that's when we look at it. If you just let us know, I've applied, but I'm not starting the materials until next month, just communicate that with us, basically, and that's fine. Yes. I would like to join in the introduction week next week, but I'm struggling to get time off work. Will there be another one before the 20th of June cohort? Yeah, there will be another one. We're going to do, I'll come on to the introduction week at the end anyway, if somebody doesn't know what that is. So I'll explain that at the end of when we're done here. But there is going to be another one for the June cohort as well. It's the first time we've done it for May, so hopefully it goes well. We're pretty looking forward to it. But yeah, we'll be doing one for the June cohort as well. So don't worry about missing the May one. I almost had to defer project phase. This isn't a question. It's just from Scott, who did the course. During boot camp, I had COVID, my roof fell off my house, and then the hospital. I nothing to support me for the team at NC. So there is a lot of support available to you. Thank you very much, Scott. If you fail the entry challenge, can you take it again for the next available cohort? So the way it works with our new entry challenge is if you've done all of the materials, we wouldn't expect you to fail, because there's such a range of answers you can give, because you've got 13 questions. If you've done the materials, there's not a chance really you shouldn't get any of them right. And what we're going to do is, say if you get 4 or 5 out of 13, we might say, actually, there's a cohort in May, but you're probably best joining us in June, so you've got more time to prepare for it. If someone gets 8, 9 questions right, we'll say, yeah, you're fine to join us next week. It really depends. It's not so much about failing it. It's about how ready we feel you are ready for the course, basically. So some people might say, if there was a cohort next Monday and somebody got 4 or, didn't do as well as they could have done on the entry challenge, what we'd probably say to them is, listen, the cohort next week isn't going to be good for you. We'd rather you spend more time preparing, because we'll give you some additional resources to learn, and then join us on the cohort after, and that will work out a bit better for you. So, but if you get no questions right for whatever reason, there will be a chance to do it again. Yes, you do have 2 attempts, but usually you don't need it. That's the aim anyway. Is there an exam at the end of the course, or more like a group project that we have to talk through? Rose, do you want to take that one?
Yes. It's a group project. We, at the end of, for the final block of the course, we will divide you into groups, usually about 4 or 5, but again, it depends on the size of the cohort. We will then help you to mold your ideas into sort of a workable plan. You will need to go through a spiking phase where you come up with ideas for what technologies you're going to use. And we will, sort of help you come to a conclusion of how to make this impressive and challenging, but not over ambitious. And then, you have a couple of weeks to work on that as a team. We try to replicate as much as we can a real life project. So we'll do things like daily stand-ups. You'll need to get all your best Git practices in line, make sure that you have version control, Trello boards and tickets and stuff like that. But of course, you will have more, you'll have tutor support, which you probably wouldn't have in the real world. And then at the end, we have a sort of a graduation day, which has recently moved to online show reels, but we do have a nice opportunity for everyone to get together, talk through their presentation of their project. And we have seen some amazingly impressive things over the years. If you want to check any out, go and have a look at our YouTube, because there's loads of them on there. I don't even want to start listing ones because I feel like it'd be an injustice to any other ones. But some amazingly cool stuff that you would never sort of at the start of the course, you can never visualize just how much it's going to grow and become something so cool and impressive that then you can then go and show employers and they'll be like, that is impressive, have a job.
Smashing. Speaking of challenges, are there any additional learning support for those that may require, i.e. those with learning difficulties? So in terms of preparation for the entry challenge, yeah, we can give you some additional resources to go away and sort of prepare for the entry challenge as well. You can also come to the support sessions, which not even just for people with learning difficulties, but some people learn better by speaking to someone. So say if I'm on Zoom with Rose and I'm learning, some people learn better when they're speaking to someone else and they're speaking out their own words. As well as learning it from the computer screen. Some people just prefer reading it and practicing it that way. But yeah, we have a few different ways you can go about learning, and then we've got a few additional resources that we can give to you if you feel you need them as well. So as well as the additional resources, there's a few different ways we can try and get you ready for the course as well, by sort of verbally teaching, not teaching it, but verbally walking you through it, or the standard way of sort of reading the screen and following the challenges that way. There's a few different ways to go about it, basically. Scott, hi. Is there a difference between the Manchester and Leeds offices in terms of where we should go during the boot camp? No, if you're in Manchester, you're probably going to go to the Manchester boot camp. If you're in Yorkshire, you'll go to the Leeds boot camp. I should say the Northwest or the Manchester one, because we get people from all over. It's exactly the same course. It's just where you're personally based. I'll come on to the question about the introduction week at the end. Can you give us an insight on what we can expect over the next 5 years after completing the boot camp in terms of job roles, development, and salaries? Amy, do you want to take that one?
Sure. So we have people that completed the boot camp with us 4 or 5 years ago, and they're now in CTO positions, that's chief technology officers or heads of departments or senior developers. Mid developers at the moment, because the market is like I said before, these skills are in demand. I was talking to a CTO friend of mine yesterday, and he is looking to recruit some mids into the business, and he told me that he can't find anyone for less than £70,000, and that's the level of the salaries at the moment that mids and seniors are on. So it's wherever you want to take it. If you wanted to progress within a company, or if you wanted to go to a company for a couple of years, get some experience, and then go elsewhere, or if you wanted to start your own business, like the options are open for you. And as we keep saying, or I've said before, the skills are so in demand that you can take it wherever you want to be. And then after you've done the 13-week course, the advice is always to learn as much as you possibly can. And what we do that's a little bit different, I feel, at Northcoders is we teach you almost how to teach yourselves. So you'll have the real building blocks to be able to go and learn further technologies and pick them up really easily, because the way that we're going to teach you of how to unpick code, you'll be able to get your head around any new technologies that you're going to need for you to advance your career. Hope that's answered your question.
Thank you. Just got 2 more questions and then we will wrap it up. So second to last one is, I live in the East Midlands but regularly travel in Europe for a month or so at a time. If I was completing the course remotely, would this be an issue? Quite jealous of that one, but yeah, that's fine. Obviously there's a bit of time difference. I'm sure you know, of course, but as long as you can manage that, there's no reason. Yeah, we had people do it from like Hong Kong, which is a crazy time difference, and they were getting up at ridiculous times in the morning to do the course. People have done it from like France, Norway, Iceland. So yeah, that's completely fine. Okay, last question. Different question, but sorry, I missed the part where you explained the process of government funding scheme. I live in London. Do I qualify? Unfortunately, don't qualify for if you live in London, but there is an income sharing agreement scheme where you don't make payments until you're in a job earning 24,000 or above after the course. If you're not earning, then you don't make any repayments. And if you are earning above 24,000, only then do you start making repayments. What I would say is have a look at the payments options page, because there's a lot of options there, but I can't say which one's good or which one's bad, but there's a few options there. And I just mentioned the income sharing agreement scheme because that's usually the most sort of accessible for people. Okay, the introduction week next week, is it okay if you're an absolute beginner? So next week we have an introduction week. So if you've applied for the course yesterday or today and you've not done any coding before, that's completely fine. You're more than welcome to attend. It's actually designed for people in your situation that haven't coded before. So it's sort of taking away the start of the application process and teaching it to you instead. So if you're looking to speed up the application process, or if you just want someone to sort of speak to you about your code and you want it taught to you rather than you working through it, and you want it in sort of a quick fix of 3 days, so it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's from 9 till 5 for those 3 days, so it's not going to be suitable for if you're in full-time work. But if you do want to complete the process a bit sooner and get on the May start date especially, please do, definitely come to the introduction week next week. We'll send a link out in emails to sign up to it. But if you're an absolute beginner, it's designed for you, so you are more than welcome to come along. All right then, that's it for us. Lots of questions today, actually, but really appreciated it. So thanks very much, everyone. If you do have any more questions, you can email apply@northcoders.com and I will go over them with you. And in terms of that introduction week, we'll send out a link via email for you to sign up to it if you're not already signed up to it. And if you are aiming to join in May, I would definitely come along to that. All right, thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.